All right, so we're officially recording. I guess, and Amy, it fell off. We need to reorganize, correct?
You do, yes. I'm sorry, I didn't put that on this one. I apologize.
Yep, I forgot myself as I was going through it.
Yeah.
So, who ran? What was it, Dave and Ken?
Yes.
Squeaked out a narrow victory?
Yeah.
I didn't see who had more votes.
Dave did.
I think 3 or 4 more.
Yeah, 83 to 790.
He's got a bigger family.
Well, it's weird. What explains that versus the total turnout? It doesn't make any sense. And I think there were some write-ins, which really makes me curious.
It was.
We'll comment another day.
There you go.
All right.
I'm going to let Bob into the meeting. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Actually, I just did. I forgot about him. There he is.
Nice.
It really, I don't know how much I'd miss having an actual face-to-face meeting.
Yeah. Bing bong, let him in.
There's Bob.
It's Veronica.
Hey, Bob. All right, so we need to reorganize. Who the hell wants to be chairman?
You. I make a motion that Kevin Clary is the chairman.
I'll second that.
Thanks.
Did you hear the train coming, Kevin?
Yeah. The bus.
You're doing a good job, Kevin.
All right.
Yes.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? Wayne?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Aye.
Dave? Aye. Aye. All right. I need a motion for vice chairman.
I make a motion that Wayne Carroll stay as vice chairman.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Wayne?
Yeah.
Ken? Dave?
Aye.
Please.
Aye.
Aye. I should be a little more formal in this. I am recording. Entertain a motion for, is it secretary?
Should we motion Ken?
Ah,
I'd like to make
rejected.
Ken Layler.
And I'll make a motion for Dave Cook.
That's fine.
That's fine. What do you mean? That's fine. That means
We
Wayne's
got a
gonna
good
be
tiebreaker. I don't know. I have to put the Robert's Rules of Order on that one.
Robert's rule.
There's 2 motions on the floor. One for Ken, one for Dave Cook. Wayne, you want to break that tie?
Yeah, I'll Kenny, you don't want to do it?
No.
All right, Dave Cook. I make a motion
There
that
you
Dave
go.
is the secretary.
All right, so Wayne will second.
Second. Yep.
All right, all in favor of Dave Cook for secretary. Wayne?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
All right, and I am aye. Yes.
Oh, well, I did.
All right. So we're officially reorganized. In the same. All right.
Sorry, Dave. You were doing a good job.
I was trying to help Amy, but yeah, she's stuck with me.
All right. I'm going to do old business first. Sometimes that's got more than
Do you
new
want to
business.
accept the meeting minutes first, Kevin?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah. So we get the meeting minutes from June 9th. If anyone has any questions or comments, if there isn't, then I'll entertain a motion to accept them as written.
Make a motion that we accept the meeting minutes from June 9th.
Second.
All right. All in favor of accepting the minutes? Wayne?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
And myself is a yes. All right, so the minutes are all set. Jumped down to old business. PA Landers contract. I guess maybe Dennis, just a quick update where they're at as far as water work.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
So the water portion of the contract is finished, and the original part of the contract is done. What's left is in the extra work order, the curbing and sidewalk work, the milling and paving on 14, and painting lines, center lines, crosswalks, that kind of thing in the extra work order part. So, but the water part's done.
And they're moving right along on the other stuff too.
Yep.
The gas company has this, in the last minute here, has decided that they want to put a new main in, new gas main in, and yeah. So they're I know Chris Sierra was quite upset about it, because they had the opportunity to join, when we did,
That shouldn't.
and they put it off,
So
I mean, it's not.
What's the project date, completion date?
It was 20. Yeah.
It was this year.
Yeah.
This year or next?
it was this year because this is the second year. I can.
Really? Ooh,
The first meetings we attended, they said 2023.
I thought it was 2021.
I did too.
see, I thought it was 22. I don't know.
Well, they did say that in the end that there's a lot of that's like, I mean, it's essentially almost done, but they've got to, paint one lines, mess with the crosswalk signals,
Well, we could come back to that. We should come talk about what completion is. But if they had 2 more years to do what they have left, I think a lot of people will be complaining.
Yeah.
You're right, though. I think it was 2 years. Yeah, now that you say
I mean,
that.
2 more years of that, you got to be kidding me. So, but I don't want to slow down what you're trying to get done.
without checking, I thought their completion date, the majority of their completion was next spring.
Yeah,
That's
I think
what I
you're
thought.
right, Dennis.
Yeah.
Wayne was right on saying that. I was.
But
thinking
like I
just
said,
2 years.
they said at the meeting, the pre-construction meeting, that they, in the end, there's a long process of, planting grass, messing with traffic signals, a lot of dinky stuff but essentially the intersections are done.
Are they going to leave that light in the barrel of cement?
Yeah.
Ask Whitman, Fred.
I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah, piece that was on Facebook, huh?
They can't move the light because the electric wire is on top of it. The electric wire, it's holding up the electric wire, the cable wire.
Uh-huh.
Well, is it worth trying to negotiate with National Grid a little bit? I don't know if we need
As
something.
far as the gas goes, see, this project is the States. I mean, other than complaining to them, and paying the bills, keeping track of the bills, I'm not sure where we go with it, as far. I mean, if you, ask them to speed up, they just more or less say, we're going as fast as we can.
Well, they're not, I mean, they're doing pretty good. I mean,
Yeah, it's coming together quick.
Yeah.
I guess obviously MassDOT let National Grid, whoever's doing the gas, they've let them in. What's the limits? I saw marks all the way through the 14 intersection, all the way up almost to 27. Are they going through 27 as well?
I believe that the gas main is somewhere around Mutual Bank to just before Flowers Are Forever.
So it's a full,
that's the
And they're going-
proposal they want to put in.
and they're
Excuse
going
me?
through. They're going through by Stop and Shop as well. They're not just doing the contract limits. They're going
Right, it would be continuous. Right.
down the whole.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
I was not aware. I was not aware of that. So you're saying that that between Paradise Lane and Glen Street, they're going to continue it?
I saw all the little paint marks out there, and they were doing some test bits. Well, I
Well,
didn't see them doing test bits, but I saw the holes for it.
It would be ridiculous
So-
to do that segmentally with gas. That's That's insane.
So
It should be.
if that's the case, shouldn't they, I mean, shouldn't they share in the cost of paving in the extra work order areas?
I agree, Dennis. Yeah, they should.
I would second that. Yes.
That's a very valid point. I think a follow-up, whether it's a meeting, or, how is this even given to us? Dennis, I was talking with you earlier today. If they're putting that main in today, there's no way they're topping that road this year. I don't want them topping the road. They can put binder, but we're going to want that trench to settle. Gas company, you can't use floor.
Yeah. Right.
It's going to be sand. So
as far as I knew, they're still trying to determine the route they're going to take.
So it's
Yeah,
already,
That's what all that,
Yeah.
that's what all that test boring is about, test digging. Which again, should have been done last year.
right.
I'd like
yeah,
to, I could put it together. I'd like to send a letter to MassDOT and request a meeting, whatever.
Right.
And what's this project? What's this limits? What's, how does it affect the overall construction of the project? We have concerns. I know it's not our road.
It's our town.
It's, yes.
But it's our town. Right. And if they top it this year
Well,
and the trench settles next year, well, Bruce is the one
Right.
getting the phone.
Don't
So
forget,
my question would be, if we did not add the extra work order on Route 18 from Glen to Temple, and the gas company did, would they be paving it instead of us? And would they be and when they did that, would they be paying for the curbing and the sidewalk also?
I'd have to, I don't know what MassDOT requires. Do they just require, a 4-foot trench? So they do a 2-foot trench and they require a 4-foot patch. I don't think they require a full width paving.
Based on the gas main replacement on the more southerly end of 18 near Forest Street, they just had them pave the lane that they worked in, not a full width.
Okay, but that's still, okay.
But still have.
but hey, Dennis, what does that mean then? If they go from Glen Street all the way down to Paradise Garden or just beyond Stop and Shop, that's the full length of the road. They'll be doing something with that we have nothing to do with, not as the state. Who will handle that?
We don't do that. We haven't done that, and we don't have any problems there either.
Right, but if the gas company digs it all up, you're gonna settle for just that little portion being a small patch?
Oh, that's a question that probably a meeting should be asked at a meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bruce,
maybe-
on the section they did on the other ends, was MassDOT involved with that, or was that just National Grid and us, or?
That and I misspoke. It was the northerly end of Route 18, from Forest Street going towards the State Barn. I'm not sure how involved Mass DOT was with that. The town of Whitman was not involved. It was a National Grid project, I think, performed by Riley Brothers, subbed out. And they had a regular trench in there for a while, and then they did a overlay right out to the center line. The trench was more on the fog line.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe they could do a sketch first, Kevin, or something too, if you can't get a meeting right away.
Yeah, I think,
We don't want to deal with this in 5 years either, so whatever, the expiration date of that line is.
or even the trench going through Stop and Shop area. That road is not in the best shape. You
Right.
cut a trench into it, and it's only going to, over a year or two, get worse.
Right. But it would be nice if they offer to do something, to do like a full lane with hatchback or something, or at least contribute towards it.
Well, the state is going to tell them what they have to do.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't think the requirements for them should be any less than they were for us.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
Should
Okay.
cut our costs down some.
What I'll do, I'll put a letter together. We'll send it. I mean, I'll copy Chris on it, but I'll send it off to, this is a utilities coordinator for District 5. And just ask for a meeting. You
Yep.
know, discover the limits, what are they doing, patch, you know, all that. So we can understand on that, and then what's it gonna do to the, you know, the overall contract.
I had questions on this project if we're still open to it.
Right,
Go
and whether that changes our cost on the extra work order.
I would say definitely. I think they should share in that cost. We'll pay the lane, they'll pay the lane.
Okay.
All I was going to say was, even with the extra work, I think they could complete the sidewalks. I would commentary on that, especially by Marcellus. I guess it's a disaster zone, and it's been maybe some weather, you know, with the holiday and weather. I don't know. Maybe you got.
Well, I guess Bruce and Dennis, I think we have to tell them that they got to get, I mean, they got lucky. COVID hit and they were able to rip that whole thing apart and not deal with the middle school. But I think they need to have established crosswalks, wheelchair ramps, signals, all that. Doesn't have to be the new signals, could still be the old signals.
Yeah,
But-
that's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, they're not going to finish that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
but pedestrian access, it'd be nice if that could be completed reasonably. And I understand we're not going to have the top coat. We're not going to have.
Why, are the kids going to school?
I don't know.
We're still on a Zoom meeting. How can that be possible?
That's a very valid point.
The town hall's not open. How can that be possible? You
Gonna
can't get
wave
to
a
the
magic
town hall
wand.
open at school?
Got to plan for the
Open by
future,
appointment.
brother. You
Yeah,
got to.
I got a bunch of questions.
You got to have faith.
Magic one.
And then the other thing was there's a stretch on 27, southbound side, I guess, going towards that we got asphalt. We probably had like a patch from whatever job was done years ago, but they're patching back with asphalt again. I'm wondering, should we not be asking for concrete there? Or is it
Where
just-
is that?
Where?
on 27 going from the Marcelo side to town?
Oh, yeah. There's no concrete. Yeah.
It just it looks horrible to me. That's all. I know we may have no say in that, but I wasn't sure if that was discussed or purposely or it just
I think
happened.
they're
You know?
replacing, the concrete was there to begin with, wasn't it?
Well, it looks like there was some asphalt. Like we had to do a patch job for whatever, maybe
But
years
that,
back.
I think that was just to keep the sidewalks open, but I think it originally was concrete.
I would say it's sometime, yeah, because it goes from concrete, asphalt back to concrete.
This is on the sidewalk, Dave?
Yes.
Oh, like right in front of Greno's house.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw that too. I was kind of curious. I would hope that was just temporary.
Yeah.
I didn't know he lived there, honestly. So if you guys,
I'll reach out to Chris Serra about the sidewalk stuff and ask him. You know, I noticed that too. I'm not sure why they would tear out concrete and then put in asphalt when they're replacing all the other concrete that they tore out.
Right.
Right. Almost looked like he was doing like a planter there too, which is, we don't want that either. Like the grass strip.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
I believe they're just doing what was there before, which was about a 2-foot or 3-foot loom plot, and I think they're leaving that.
okay. Maybe we can just get rid of that and just make it concrete.
that's all. Blame me. Blame the commissioners. Whatever. I would hate to see him pull off because of this gas thing and say, oh, well, you know what? We're not touching the project till that gets sorted out. And we sit for another 6 months or into the winter.
Blame the secretary.
Mr. Secretary.
Madam Secretary. Oh, all right. Enough of that one, right?
Well, I got a couple, just kind of update the board. I'm still going through the quantities and stuff. They owe us some information. We talked last time about the megalugs and on the fittings, and that item is 7,000, almost 8,000 pounds over, upwards of $50,000. It turns out, so Environmental Partners wrote the spec, did a very good job, put it all together. That all got in the bid. There was a question during bid time that Landers asked specifically about megalugs and where they would be paid, if they would be paid. Beta Engineering, who is MassDOT's engineer, reached out to Environmental Partners, but Beta themselves answered the question. I believe Landers should get paid for it, based off of the answer. But I don't think as a town that we should pay for it, because we didn't answer the question, nor did our engineer. So I'm going to get that info to Chris. I've kind of already done it in an email, but probably more formalized, that Environmental Partners did a very clear takeoff, exactly what was included, what wasn't. And you know, it's a significant amount of money. You know, when I said it's probably north of $50,000. So, you know, we presented that once to Chris, Sarah, and that's when we found out about the addenda. We didn't know about the addenda question. I want to take that forward, see where it goes, you know, and go from there. I know what thoughts are, but I think that's, you know, something we shouldn't just give up, especially where we're, you know, right tight to our for this project.
I think it's important that you mentioned, Kevin, that that the question was asked to us after they had already answered it.
Yeah. Yeah, we found out about even that there was a question. Yeah, after they answered it, and it was like the day before the bid. You know, we're still waiting for some info from them. I still have some questions. There's some credits that are due to us because of MassDOT contracts have diesel and gas escalation. And obviously, since bid time, gas and diesel has dropped significantly. So any earthwork items, gravel, excavation, pavement items, all those prices get adjusted. And in this case, they'll be adjusted downward because of fuel prices.
That's a
You know,
first.
you know, the fuel prices are half, even a third of what they were at bid time. And that's standard MassDOT. So I asked Chris about that in an email today, just to, you know, it may not be huge dollars because they're not huge quantities, but it's something, you know what I mean? They'll be getting it back from Landers, so we should be getting it back if it's any of our items that we're paying for. So I just want to make sure that we get those items as well. So we'll keep plugging away. I think the biggest thing is just getting an accurate as-built and make sure everything's out there. It doesn't get paved over. So, but I think overall, I mean, they've done a good job and it's starting to come together. Looks good.
It does.
It was nice what they did at Marcelo's there in the corner with the higher curb and the lower curb, kind of cleaned that up nice.
Yep. The back curve.
I think they've done a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got chapter 90. We down on Winter Street, Bruce?
Yeah, we started last week. Edwards came in and milled it, and 3 days later, so they did that one day, and then 3 days, I think it was 3 days later, they came in and put the leveling course. The street was in rough shape as far as the crown. It had a real bad crown to it, so they had to use quite a bit on the edges to level it out a little bit. And so that went well. They did a good job, and then 4 o'clock the next morning after they paved, there was a pretty significant water main break right at the beginning of Winter Street on the new binder. And, you know, Dennis and I believe it's from the vibratory rollers they use. The main on Winter Street's not exceptionally deep. So Dennis's crew took care of that day. And my crew went in and patched it with binder again, the area that there was a significant trench. And we're at the point now where we cut the road, and my crew has started pulling up the existing sidewalk at George Street. And we'll start trenching tomorrow and hopefully laying granite tomorrow afternoon and having a first segment. We're going to do it in segments so we don't rip up the whole thing at once. We're gonna pull up a section of the sidewalk. We're gonna trench it. We're gonna lay the curbing down, concrete, and then skip down another section. This is not to disrupt the whole thing all at once.
You should be done by the end of next week, right?
Yeah. They'll cruise right along. We did have a telephone pole. We do have a pole issue, and it's really been like that for years, and it's probably something that should have been dealt with years ago, and I've got a request into National Grid to move a telephone pole back. It really sticks out. It's literally in the road. We've put some reflectors on the pole itself, but hopefully they'll get out and move that back a few feet. Even a couple feet would be a huge difference. But other than that, you know, we're moving forward.
Okay.
Good.
Is Hog Memorial still on the docket for later this year?
Yes, we'll do overlay in there, and the hopefully we'll do an overlay. We'll do the top coat on the first hog, and the developer down there uses Edwards also, so it may end up being we'll pay for our section, and then he'll segue right into the development, so there's no seams unnecessarily, and repave that whole section. And that middle road, we've been promising the residents for years, we'll get an overlay, and that should all happen, you know, this summer/fall, hopefully.
So then we'll just have the last one, right?
Yeah, going down into Kenwood.
Kenwood, yeah. Yep.
That section there, and you know where on the list is that? Because there's plenty of other side roads that are similar.
Well,
a couple of you guys live on them.
Yeah, but you know what? I'd like to see the development be complete.
Just do it, yeah.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, at least get something complete. We don't have a lot. I mean, if we continue to get the money that we've been receiving from the town,
Right. I have to do, this is the first year I've had to do phases as far as project requests to the DOT, because they're still waiting. Even though we got our allotment, they're still waiting for it to be released. So I had to do a phase 1 project request that included what we're doing now on Winter Street. And then I'll do a phase 2, which will be the completion of Winter Street and then the other 2 projects.
Yep.
Okay. Good. Excellent. All right. Water meters, I'm assuming we're just doing new houses and ones that we have.
Well,
So-
we can, trying, we've some final readings. We've been able to talk people into letting us in, and do the mask and glove thing and get people to stay out of the basement, and replace them, but, we haven't started trying to make appointments every day yet.
Yeah, I think that's still
Well,
a little bit of wait and see. Yeah.
Right. To some extent, and I don't know what it's, what will, eventually open the office. And, what will eventually, when will we stop the offset start times for the guys? When will we stop taking temperatures every day? Basically return to normal completely. I just, not sure when we're gonna go, get to that point.
If I could jump in on that subject, even though it's off water meters, I would like to go to a normal start time for the crews and just do the offset lunch period, and just when they come in the morning, just have them, wear masks, would take their temps, and then have them be on their way to the separate job sites. And especially now with the heat and my guys starting to do the curbing project, having the late start, it's not a long day to begin with. And even if I can have them stay late, but it's, I'd like to get rolling at 7 a.m., not 7:30, 7:40, because, we have the staggered start time in the morning.
There's no reason why they can't start at the regular time.
Right. And Dennis and I had talked about it a little this week, and with the new phases coming into effect, and restaurants being open, we think they could come in at 7 a.m. all of them, if they wear a mask in the break room while we're taking your temps, and then everybody's off to the separate job sites after that, and just still do maybe a staggered lunch, which is easy enough. So they're not having all, lunch all in the lunchroom at the same time. And that way there we can, get a better start in the morning.
What's the reason for the staggered start initially, Bruce?
Just to keep,
Just to keep what? I'm sorry.
Keep the employees apart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right, so you don't have all the employees, in other words, with half of the employees in the break room, there's enough space to keep six feet apart.
Gotcha.
Even though, we have varying degrees of success about, what people consider 6 feet. But at least with half of the guys, only allowing half in the break room at a time, you got a shot at it.
All right. I gotcha.
The only other thing you could do would be instead of, you could back up everything up too. You could ask, see if they wanted to start earlier.
Yeah, that gets, you don't want to be firing up the equipment on Winter Street at 6 o'clock either, but I'm fine with it. Again, as long as they're doing, they got a mask on, they're, being responsible like anything. It's still out there.
Sounds good.
Good. Complete streets, just any dates on potential bid documents or anything like that?
No firm dates, but tentatively we're hoping to have bid documents ready to go by the end of August. Final plans and then bid documents late August, very early September. I'm still cautiously optimistic that we'll break ground this fall and get rolling on it. It's taking a little longer to get the bid documents going. I'm going to try to light a little fire under James tomorrow. Talk to him today about it, but that was his message, that final design by the end of this month, mid-August, bid documents, construction details by late August, go out to bid.
Okay. Well, maybe they can do the reconfiguration of the intersection this year and we tackle the sidewalk next year. I'd be hesitant to getting into October, November.
Right.
Sidewalk.
With concrete.
Yep. Okay. Now, is there any opportunity, we can't get any more money out of that program, right? Is it kind of like a one and done type thing?
It is not a one and done.
This year, though, right? One
per year. Yeah. Right, but we could.
So
I know there were multiple projects, but if we wanted to, I guess, put the effort and cost back into putting another proposal together, we could make another request.
Yes, definitely. You can. So when this project is done, we can certainly try to go back and present more projects. We have them.
Yeah, nice sidewalk on Route 58 would be wonderful.
Yeah. So we'll certainly do that. I'm sure they're gonna take into account, we've got ours, but it
Sure.
can't hurt to ask.
No, yeah, if we have the info, you kind of got some. You definitely got some experience putting the package together. And what's required. I think it's something we keep on the plate and get what we can.
We should go on going. I think there was a queuing issue, right, Bruce, that, they don't guarantee every town every year, and chances are next year would be rare, but it's possible.
Right.
Right.
They don't have enough. They're just not enough. They don't even have enough funds to, give every town, especially if every town's going for the max. They don't even have enough there to do it.
A lot of
Very
towns just don't even.
Yeah, sure.
That's what, I figure it's worth trying, at least be, in the queue. All right.
Okay. And then kind of lastly, force main. So I think we finally got that, at least contract wise. Sent
Right,
that out.
so if you guys are in agreement on this, you need to come in and start signing the contract.
Okay.
Yep. I read it today.
All right.
I just saw your email then, so.
All right, because the environmental partners have signed their part.
Okay. All right. I'll get in there.
Okay. There's a space for everybody.
All commissioners?
All commissioners.
I can't get away with 3.
No space for the secretary.
Was that authorized that we all get to sign?
I think 3 will do it.
Yeah, I
But,
think so.
everybody's welcome.
That's why I'm asking. If you can get it in with 3, go. Amy doesn't wait for me anymore.
So hard getting you all in here to sign papers for me.
I come right in.
Thanks, Wayne.
You just snap your fingers and I just jump.
I agree with that one, Dave.
And an itch, Ken.
Yeah.
I'll swing by tonight. On my way home. All right.
I'll leave a copy of the contract down at the desk.
Okay. Thank you. New business water and sewer abatements. So we got 27. I guess what I'm looking at the agenda. It doesn't say this is an abatement or a commitment.
This is
I'm
an
sorry, those
abatement.
are both abatements.
Both abatements, okay. 27 Crescent Street, water in the amount of $443.70, sewer $275.40, keystroke error in the billing system, and then 271 Hog Memorial, water $209.89, sewer $130.05. Multiplier was wrong in harmony usage. I have no idea what that means, but sounds good.
So let me address these in order. The keystroke error was a difference between an OR reading and an actual reading at the meter. The outside reader, which was a 3-digit meter, turned over, and it wasn't, and we didn't catch it until we had an inside reading. 271 Hogue Memorial. When we bill by harmony, we bill by 100 cubic feet, and that means, on some meters, on some older meters, there's a multiplier. They read by cubic feet, but we bill by 100, so that means a multiplier of 10. In this particular meter, this is a brand new meter, 271 Hogue Memorial, and it should not have had a multiplier. It should have been just 1.
Okay.
So basically, the reading we got, the multiplier times it times 10.
Okay. All right. So we have 2 abatements. Let's entertain a motion to accept those abatements if there's no other further questions.
I'll make a motion to accept both as read.
Second the motion.
Second. All right. All in favor, Wayne Carroll,
Aye.
Dave Cook,
Aye.
Ken Whaler,
Aye.
and I am a yes. Okay, the abatements are accepted. Okay, step increase for Amy.
Good night.
We pass over this one?
That's a table.
Nice. Thanks, guys.
I guess we should say happy
I make a
anniversary.
motion-
No, I make a
that
motion.
we,
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Wayne.
Go ahead, Kenny. Go ahead,
I make
Kenny.
a motion that Amy gets a step raise on the 9th of July. Now, is that next year, Amy?
No, that was this past week.
I second the motion.
So we could do something, so our anniversary date was the 9th. So obviously we're past that. So we can at least go back to like this Monday, or we could go back to the 9th and give her a retro.
No, shouldn't we need to go back to the 9th? That was our
Go back
anniversary.
to the 9th. Yeah.
Right. She's
Yeah, that was
and
was the-
I will say she's done very good. She's
Excellent.
Excellent.
fit in quite well.
Yeah,
Thanks,
she's
Bruce.
kept up with us pretty good.
She's
2
right
years,
next to me.
huh?
I gotta be nice.
Hey, Ken.
Hey, what?
Hey, Ken, that's not really saying much.
Oh. Wow.
Wow.
All right, we had a motion in a second for a step increase effective July 9th. All in favor? Wayne?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Ken?
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. Very well appreciated all your work, Amy. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Amy. Hopefully, you know it's all in kidding that I'm throwing at you.
Yes, I know.
You should know.
And then we had hydrant flow testing fee.
Oh, we got Ryan Harrington too.
Yes.
That's we could take
Oh.
care of that at the August meeting. Because
Okay.
his anniversary is the 20th or so.
Oh, yeah, I
Oh,
see that.
sorry.
Okay, yep.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
See that? I get multiple agendas here. Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. I printed one and I got one on the computer screen. So
I get the same thing, and the letters are really little. I'm like, you need your glasses.
all right. So hydrant flow testing is yours, Dennis. I'm assuming.
Yeah, so this is something you guys can consider. The current fee for hydrant flow test is $200 for our participation and the water they use. And the thing that we would like out of this is we would like to see the results. And a lot of times we don't get the results. So one of the ways we, kind of discussed this with Lonnie, and what I was thinking was that the current fee being $200, either charge them $250 or $300 for the hydrant flow test, refundable, either the 50 or 100 refundable when we get the results. So the fee would be the same as long as we get the results back.
Sounds reasonable to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know why we can't get results, but yeah, if we gotta.
Yeah.
hit 'em
Well, the
with-
thing is, we got to chase
I
it.
don't- Yep.
It's always, after 6 phone calls, eventually we might see them.
Yep.
Whereas if we, if we tell them, you got to pay us $300, when we get the results, we'll refund $100.
Yeah, then you're assured to get the results.
Right.
Or we'll have $100 for our trouble.
Yeah, there you go. I like that, Dennis.
I actually like that too, Dennis. You okay with that, Commander?
I like it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, money is always an incentive. For
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I'll entertain, 250, 300. I'll throw it to the board, entertain what they want. If you think $50 is enough, or I'd say 100.
I'm going to make a motion that we place the hydrant flow test fee at $300, refundable $100 upon results being dropped off at the office.
I second that.
I have a motion second. Any other discussions? If not, we'll take a vote. Wayne,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
and I am a yes as well.
Just because I think sometimes I think $50, they're like, yeah, whatever. $100,
Yeah.
they're gonna come looking for that.
Okay. The date for next meeting would be August 11th.
11th.
I'm looking at the calendar.
It is August 11th, Amy, put in the book, I will not be available.
Oh, no.
Ken, if we're still doing Zoom, you're always available. All you need is
Depends on where I'm at.
Touche.
True.
Hey, there's no vacation when you have Zoom.
Yeah, just one of these.
That's true, I can call in, yeah.
Spoken like a true boss.
That's part of the problem. You can't get
Yeah,
away.
you can't get away.
No.
I had one thing that I got a couple. Dennis, Bruce, just a question on Winter Street. Are we doing the asphalt sidewalks or is Landers? Edwards doing them. I'm assuming they got the
Edwards doing
asphalt.
So,
Edwards is doing.
yeah.
Okay. Just
We're
curious.
we'll leave it, we'll lay the curbing, we'll, just using existing materials, we'll smooth out behind the, the sidewalks with our machines, roll it, and then they'll install a base of gravel, compact it, and then
Yep.
do the asphalt.
The asphalt. Okay. Just curious. The other thing I had, new
We'll do
building.
all the box,
You do all the boxes. Yep.
all the curb boxes, yeah,
New building. We still need a new building. My question, if maybe Dennis or Bruce combined, or we had a town meeting article 2 years ago when we did the soil investigation
Yes,
and all that. We still have monies left in that.
we do. We actually encumbered it to move forward. Let me guess. Amy, I don't know off the top of my head how much it was. She's looking up the encumbered letters.
Is it enough to? I don't know what the question is, or what the board's thoughts are to start something. The get environmental partners on board or a preliminary. We don't need any more feasibility studies. We don't need any more. What are we going to build? I think we know. I'll say the people here on the board and the superintendents and the DPW has an idea of what we want. Just a simple metal structure, space building, whatever you want to call it. We get some good information on what's underground. How much do we need to get a design? I don't know. We probably don't have enough in that article, but
Wasn't that capital improvement committee looking at that? Because last
yeah.
I heard, they had an article that I knew nothing about coming up on town meeting floor about a building for the DPW.
And that's, I remember hearing the same thing a few months ago, and I kind of forgot about it. And that's kind of why I'm
So
wondering.
I believe it's there.
there's going to be an article on town meeting floor,
Okay.
at the end of this month for, we hate the name of it, but for, I think it was $50,000 for a feasibility study. But, we need to make sure that the residents realize that it's not a study, it's just to figure out is it feasible that we build a building? It's $50,000 to hire a company to design a building for us. So it's a lot more than just saying, okay, we need to figure out, we need to do a study to see if we're going to build a building or not. No, we're going to build a building, And this money is to actually hire somebody to design it so we can actually go to another town meeting and say, we've designed a building for X and it's going to cost approximately X amount of dollars and we want to, and this is what it is and this, and we want to go out to bid. And we
Who's
wanna-
doing the design?
Well, that we won't know until we get the money, and then I really am interested in this company that's designed some buildings in up off of Route 2 in Groton, and I've had some phone conversations with them up there, and I really would like to bring them in for a meeting after town meeting, and they seem to, be on board with how municipalities like us want to build a building in the price range we're looking at, as opposed to some of the other firms that we've already talked to about it, and they're high end, and this company seems to know that we can get something done for a lot cheaper and it still fit our needs. So
Yeah, I guess that's all still competitive bid too. Even design, or you can do a RFQ, and you do well, almost like what we did with the water meters. I just can't think of the verbiage. You do a.
Well, from what I understand, if it's under 30 for them to design it, that doesn't have to go out to bid, and that's just through a conversation with them. And if they keep that part of it, if you keep that part under a certain amount, and it's quite a bit less than what we're putting up for article, but we don't have to use the whole article.
I would be surprised if we could get 100% design for under 30.
I don't think you can.
What did we just pay for complete streets? 10?
Yeah.
12?
20, 22, wasn't it, or something?
Was it even that high?
I'm sorry, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one. Whatever, but
I don't think you're going to get it for
Maybe
50.
that's not for a complete design. I'll have to call the guy again. I have his number. I'm staring at it right here. I'll have to call him again and pick his brain.
Well,
I kind of left it up to the town administrator. I to kind of touch base with him, but I know he's got a lot on his plate, and
Yep.
It's our ball game. So I think I'll reach
Well,
out.
I guess I appreciate the efforts of the Capital Improvements Committee. Would have been nice to know about it, but is by calling it a feasibility study, I want to make sure that they're on the same page as we are. I know sounds like verbally there's been some communication, but feasibility study is different than design procurement, and we don't need like I said, we don't need a feasibility study. We know what we want.
Exactly. We've had this exact conversation, Dennis and I actually, with Frank, about clarifying that we know we need a building. There's been enough talk about it, enough studies done. So this money is not for that.
Okay. Is the warrant online somewhere? Can you find it online?
I don't believe so. It was shared to department heads, but I think it was a draft.
It was.
Must be posted by now, right?
Yeah.
Would it have been posted yesterday?
In 2 weeks, so it's got to be online.
Yeah, it should be online by now. Okay.
you guys all hear what the plan is for the meeting? The town meeting?
I
No.
heard.
Is it outside at the high school?
Outside of the high school. The front field, I think.
I won't be at town meeting. I'll be on vacation.
You can zoom you in. We'll get a little cardboard cutout.
yeah.
Remember
Wayne.
what was that, Max Headroom? Remember that TV show?
Leaving my phone at home.
Was it gonna be July 27th or something out of the town meeting?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see if I can. I'm actually looking online. I don't know if it's there. I'd like to see what it kind of says. I would disagree with any type of money's being spent for any more studies.
Well, and
100%.
there's
Agreed.
also a $1 million article on there for a new middle school.
Oh, Jesus.
I think that the DPW building is a couple years older than the middle school. About 7 years older. Just saying.
Yeah. So they have the declaration of the town meeting, but they don't have the warrant up online.
Yeah.
They just have that there is a meeting. So, Bruce or Dennis, could one of you send out what you have, if there's anything that you have, even if it was a draft? I'm just curious to see kind of how it's worded.
The article about the study,
Yeah,
feasibility stuff.
yeah. Maybe you sent it once before. I lose track. I'll take the 50 grand, and with whatever we have left on that other one, maybe that's enough to get, some design documents.
Yeah, we certainly don't need another study.
No. Nope.
Let's see if I can minimize this.
All right. I guess
I have
go
it
around.
here, Kevin.
What?
Kevin, I have it.
Okay. Yeah, maybe just share it with the board.
Okay, I can send it out tomorrow.
Okay.
If you like.
Yeah, that'd be good. Thank you. That's all I had. Wayne, do you have anything else? You got anything?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Dave?
No, thank you. Good for tonight.
Ken?
I think I'm all set too, Kevin.
Okay.
I have one announcement.
You were next. Let's come to you next.
Mr. Smith?
What do you got? What do you got, Dennis?
I just want to let you know, Robert Veloso did take the sewer operators class from California, and passed it with great grades.
Right.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Congrats. Yeah.
Bruce, you got anything?
No. Okay, spewed it all.
Okay.
Is Desmond?
Amy, you good?
She
Yeah, she walked down the other end.
muted us.
They're asking if you're all set.
I'm all set, but you were gonna talk about suicide.
Oh,
If you want.
I do have one other item.
Oh, boy.
Oh, geez, here it is. Yeah. What do you got?
So
Like the gas.
everywhere there are. I just found out. I've always been under the impression there was only one place in town that sewer was not available to, and I've always been under the impression that was kind of Colholland Drive, off of Old Mansion Lane, and it fell through the cracks because Colholland Drive was built, like immediately after the sewer system was, designed. So as far as I know, that's the only street that didn't have a sewer available to it. I just found out recently that that's not so. There's a section of Pine Street that has some buildable lots on it that don't have sewer stubs on. And knowing that,
Oh, yeah.
are we going to provide those? I think we will eventually have to do something for Colholland. And, I would think that we'd want to, do something for the sewer stubs on Pine Street also.
What portion of Pine Street, Dennis? Between High Street and Bedford, or further up?
Yes. No, between the Quonset hut and Bedford.
Really?
Yeah, the dump area.
So there's no main in the roadway, Dennis?
No. There's the one main starts at the one house, the first house that you come to on the right, and
Yep.
goes towards Bedford, and then up by the Quonset hut, it starts there and goes towards Pine Street. I'm sorry, High Street.
So there's
So
no
there's
facilities
no-
in the Quonset hut? There's no water or sewer, obviously.
There's water.
What
There's
house,
water, but there's
The
no
water's
sewer.
gotta go somewhere.
That's,
Dennis, what houses are available from the Quonset hut to Bedford Street? There are none, it's all wood.
No, there are lots there. There are buildable
lots
lots.
Oh, there's
Buildable.
lots. Okay,
Yeah, and then for the full disclosure, one of them belongs to Amy.
one belongs to who?
Amy.
Who did he say?
That would be me.
well, it doesn't matter. I think,
That's what I thought he said, but I wasn't sure. I was,
Yeah.
he said Amy or Ames. A-M-S.
it's,
God love them.
it seems like a flaw not having something on the street like that even if there weren't buildable lots going that direction. Anyway, I would be in favor if we can figure out something.
No, I-
Both those locations.
I guess
So Caholen Drive, they're all on septic, right, Dennis?
That's correct.
Yeah. So it's, a stub has to be put in there for sure.
Well, in that case, they're either going to pump, all get E1 pumps and pump up to the to where they can go grab the old mansion.
Yeah.
Or if we could gain a right of way and those properties all abut town of Whitman land in the back.
Yep.
You could gravity to Lombard, but that's
Lombard, yep.
that's a question for an engineer.
Right.
Then what expense to us?
Well,
Well, I mean,
we got,
we're gonna-
I mean, those, the thing is that in the case of Culholland, they shared, even though they didn't benefit, they shared in the payment of the bonds because that place was built, just when sewer was being put in.
so if someone's septic fails down there and they want to connect to town sewerage,
Yeah, they're in a bind.
yeah, no, it's gonna have to happen.
Yeah.
it's probably something to start looking at. Get it on the docket for
On
a
an-
project.
Right.
I think we need a plan.
Yeah, exactly.
And as far as I know, that's pretty much it. As far as the places that don't have sewage.
I hate to ask, but actually, was there any news on meeting with the committee on? I'm drawing a blank. Sorry,
With Brockton,
Planning board?
planning board. Thank you, and Brockton too. But
I believe they're interested in meeting with us, and of course we are with them. It's a question of of the how do we get together.
Yeah.
yeah,
well,
okay.
I think that the meeting thing is gonna break soon because, I mean, if they're gonna open up schools, we
Yeah.
gotta open up meetings.
Right.
You know what I
That's,
mean?
yeah.
This is
Yep.
this is craziness.
It's okay to bars open.
Yeah, everything in the world is open except for the front door of the town hall.
All right. Anyway, so we'll table that. But Brockton. Yeah, I thought you were going to talk to them, Dennis. And forgive me if I'm wrong. Are you going to talk to the commissioners over there?
For
Um,
Forest Main?
yes.
Oh, you're talking about the sewer bills?
Well, jump
Oh,
in.
that-
No, we had excuse me, the water loop. There was a what do you call it, two shutoffs? A shutoff problem. I thought you had.
Oh, up on 27, up on by Peaceful Meadows, Dennis.
Yes, I'm sorry. I don't have all those notes with me.
Transition
so-
lines come in. transmission lines?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, we have talked, you know, and we're coming to, you know, we understand more of how that line, our feed line works. That'd be another project that we need to plan on because currently we're on the newer of the 24-inch mains, and both our entry point at Bedford Street and at Temple Street come off of that same main. So we should try and do some kind of crossover feed from one of the other mains at Temple Street. That would be the logical place, so that you can have a feed from either main. Although, you know, I will point out that through the use of crossover gates, they can isolate and feed sections of the other main. It's just more involved. And obviously, by the break they had on Quincy Ave, you know, they're losing their knowledgeable people who knew where stuff was. Or else it wouldn't have taken them, you know, a day and a half to shut down that main.
That's what happens when you lose experienced people.
Exactly, and they lost two of their, one guy to cancer and another guy retired. Two very experienced guys, you know, and Marty and I think his name was Dan, the other guy.
All right.
So at some point, you know, we need to look at them. We probably have to get environmental parties involved in that as far as, you know.
Yeah, that's going to be an engineered job.
To have a second feed, you know.
Yep.
And, you know, and work with Silver Lake. The guy, Mike Sassine down there, he's a very smart guy too. And he's, you know, basically suggesting the same thing. You know, we're in trouble in a lot of areas. We don't have any monitoring and stuff. Stuff we're going to have to work on as time goes by.
Yep.
Okay.
Fair enough.
All right. Anything else from anybody?
Motion to adjourn.
I second that.
All in favor?
Yes.
Wayne,
Aye.
Dave,
Yes.
Ken?
Aye.
Myself is a yes. All right. Everyone, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Hopefully
Stay
we're back
safe.
at home for next time.
Have a good night.
All right. Good night.
Good night.